expert to weigh in on the markets and help with some ideas. Ambareesh, one of the stock recommendations is Interglobe Aviation. We know travel demand is booming. It's soaring through the skies now. But what else?
Hi, Rima. In fact, last many years, I did not have a buy on aviation at all. But now this sector seems interesting from a medium-term investment. I mean, if you look at the fares, I mean, compared to 2019, domestic fares are about 66% higher. International fares are about 23% higher. And more importantly, they are sustaining. Like earlier, we used to see sudden spikes, but then they used to cool off. Now that's not happening. And at the same time, crude is also softening. Indigo reported highest ever quarterly revenue of about 14,900 last quarter, which was about 20% growth Q on Q. Load factor is extremely good, 85%. Net free cash in hand is about 7,000 crores. Total fleet of 302 versus 279 last quarter. And from FY24, we should see deliveries of about of those 500 aircrafts starting from FY24. Could possibly take about 6-7 years. Domestic market share is about 56%, and this is a clear leader and will remain one despite Air India, Air Asia, Vistara merger, because that would make possibly the Air India group a number 2, but closer to about 25%, which is still much lower than 56% which they have. International operations are improving. Nearly 23% of the capacity is for international operations. Cargo business is a focus area now. Second Airbus freighter has been added. More on the way over the next possibly 12 months. My expected EPS for FY25 is about 140, and because of which I have a target of about 2,380.
All right, 2,380 is the target on Interglobe Aviation, the stock around that 1,850 odd mark. Ambareesh, hold on to that. I'd like to, get your views on Religare as well. A 5,000 crore market cap company, 5,150 odd crores, but it has value in its insurance business, and it's now time for value unlocking. That's not me saying it, that's the management of Religare saying it. In fact, today we had a conversation with them after their subsidiary Religare Finvest prepaid some 2,200 crore rupees worth loans to lenders. They are also looking for an IPO for their brokerage business soon. So let's hear out what the management says and get in Ambareesh's views on them.
Now is the time for value unlocking. And for value unlocking, there are multiple ways of doing it, actually creating a robust plan for all the businesses, ensuring that all these companies reach their logical conclusion and they keep growing. But what you asked is that whether we are thinking of a demerger or whether we are thinking of an IPO. First, let me tell you one thing. Whatever we do, we have to first understand how well we fit into the regulatory framework. Nothing is happening unless and until IRDA and the RBI, we fit into that particular, so, we have to do a backward integration. Whichever is best fitted as far as the regulatory framework is concerned, that is exactly what we will be doing it. Standalone health insurance company is much better. So we have certain benchmarks for a company, which is, of course, Star. Then we have our own strengths, which are even over and above, which I would consider are much better than the most of the companies. We are regulatory compliant and we are completely solvent as far as, the ratios are concerned. So my thought is that this is going to be valued much, much better than the pair companies, and it has its own strength.
That's Religare, 15 minutes past 3. The 3 p.m. move looks like it has been on the downside. The Nifty is now down 170 points. Now significantly lower than the 17,600 mark, led lower across by all the heavyweights that we've been talking about. And the Nifty Bank too has fallen below that 41,250 mark, closing in on 41,200 as we speak. Ambareesh, before we talk about the markets, your thoughts on Religare and what the management said. 5,000 crore market cap, the streets valuing their insurance business at over 9,000 odd crores. Do you think there's value, or maybe it's flattering to deceive?
No, surely there's value because, they had major issues in the past, which we all know. But then the last 3-4 years, they have restructured themselves, got their business in order, got new investors in place. And I think the value unlocking will now start happening. So I still see an upside, may not be 100% upside, but clearly I think a 25-30% upside from here is, should be possible over the next 3 to 4 months.
Okay. All right. See some upside in Religare. Any thoughts on Sequence Scientific? The stock has spurted of nearly 18-19% after calling off that acquisition.
No, in fact, I don't track that closely, Rima, so I really don't have any views on that.
Ambareesh, let me just ask you about the auto names. We've seen fairly erratic moves. We had a good day on Bajaj Auto, for instance, earlier in the week, but no follow-through. Today, there's a lot of pressure on M&M, on Tata Motors, Maruti as well. What are you doing with auto stocks? Anything that is of interest right now?
See, clearly, I'm not too keen on buying into the two-wheeler space. Although we have seen the domestic sales decent, exports have suffered, no doubt. And even the domestic sales, I think, will have an issue going ahead because I think the competition from EVs is going to be huge as far as two-wheelers is concerned. Basically, I'm looking at the passenger car segment as well as LCV, HCVs. And because of which I would surely look at buying into Maruti, possibly at slightly lower levels, because I'm clearly, quite cautious on the market at this point of time because I see levels of 17,000 being achieved over the next couple of weeks. And that's the time possibly I'll look at buying into Maruti, Tata Motors closer to about 400 levels, and Mahindra & Mahindra.
Okay, stay on, Ambareesh. Need to slip into a very short break. We'll come back and get you more on the markets. We'll also have the closing levels. Currently, markets are inching towards a 1% cut.